What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the second season gaming Bitcast, episode 363. We are actually here this time, ready to talk about a big week in gaming, including new releases. We've got Xbox 360 turning 20 years old, and reflecting on that, we got the Game Awards nominees. We got Xbox Partner Direct, Ubisoft selling out, and a bunch of other things. I am here with my guys, of course. You know him as the Tie Man, Travis. How we doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. McClunky, happy to be here. Hogue.
I feel bad because the audience missed your most sing-songy Broadway musical McClunky that I'd ever heard, and it is now lost to the annals of time.
That's too bad. Those annals, they'll take all your memories from you.
So you guys will just have to imagine what Travis sounds like in full McClunky regalia.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, it was so for those with us live here or tuning in later, apologies. We had fixed the dual stream from last week with the vertical layout. We're going to go back to our standard format, and the streaming service decided that we hadn't fixed that, and basically completely collapsed when we tried to go live. So we thought we were live. We were actually talking like this, and then we weren't live, so we had to reset everything.
I'm glad somebody noticed. We could have been 40 minutes in before we noticed that it still said awesome. Scheduled.
That would have been great. Yeah. So, but anyway, big week in gaming. A lot of things to catch up on this week. So I think we will just get right into it, to be honest with you. So let's jump into the games that what am I talking about? Hold on. We didn't even get the Tides picks. See, I'm all off schedule now. I apologize.
It's just gonna be one of those days. We're gonna roll with it.
It's going to be one of those. So let's get to Tide's picks, which actually for Thanksgiving coming up here is quite cute. So,
am I a turkey? I want to be a turkey. Oh,
we are Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yes, we are.
We're all pretty good Charlie Browns, to be honest.
Ains, are you sure you're not Charlie Brown, Ains?
I think I am Charlie Brown.
He doesn't have that much hair.
Yeah, it never grows that long. That's like 2 long strands. Travis, you're back to being a ginger.
Yep.
We should clearly switch the entire Bitcast over to just broadcasting as animated Peanuts characters. I think we're all improved by this.
I think you're probably right. Yeah. And we're all smiling. Travis, why are your eyes sunken? Are you tired, man? You doing all right?
I think you know why. I mean, to be fair, Hogue has those the indents on the side that usually the characters only get when they're like scared or stressed out or whatever, you know?
That's just accurate from the way I live my life.
Yeah. And like that quivering smile that looks like it's about to break, you know?
I think honestly, nailed me.
The Charlie Brown art style kind of weirds me out, to be honest with you. Just a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, they look a little skeletal. I don't know what it is. Don't really.
I could go for it. I could go for this being my new look. I'm going to try to save this picture, maybe make it a profile pic. You don't know where you'll see this next.
Yeah. All we know is Ains is at the Thanksgiving table and he does not want to talk to his family. He's got noise-canceling headphones on. Hogue is maybe the look of fear in his eyes is because he realizes he has no food in front of him. He's just starving on Thanksgiving.
It looks like I'm crafting.
What do you have to be thankful for, Hogue? And he just reaches over and eats one of those decorative gourds.
I got a gourd.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Also, I'm very confused about the bread people.
I thought it was SpongeBob for a minute.
Yeah, SpongeBob or Ren and Stimpy-ish or something. I don't know, but
a different art style. Yeah, it's very confusing. I'm into it.
Anyway,
this can be the season gaming Thanksgiving card. That's a thing, right? You give out Thanksgiving cards. Let's do it.
Everyone
That'd
does
be great.
that.
Yeah.
Every podcast does that.
They do. They send out Thanksgiving cards. It's true. Todd, thank you as always for the picks. All right, boys, let's go ahead and get actually into it here. So a few games launching this week. I've spent most of my time catching up on other stuff, but who wants to kick us off with a game to discuss that you've been playing?
Sure. Well, I think the one that has taken me by the most surprise this week is a game called Demon School.
Yeah, we reviewed it.
Which is a indie kind of take on the old school Persona series before they became the super hip Persona series. So in this game, it takes place in 1999. It's got really cool pixel art. And instead of role-playing turn-based battles, it has kind of strategic turn-based battles. So somewhere between Fire Emblem and the 100 line and other games that you might play in this kind of milieu. It is a story-based RPG that doesn't have turn-based monster battles. Or it doesn't have turn-based monster battles like I think of in most RPGs. The turn-based battles are strategic and use a grid system and all that good stuff, which isn't my favorite, but the vibes are really cool. It's very Halloween-y, which, is apt for the month after Halloween. Probably wasn't aimed there originally. Like I said last week, I think they actually moved the release date of this when Hollow Knight Silksong announced its release date.
Yeah, I think it was actually moved a couple times because this has been playable and kind of like preview / early access for quite a bit.
Well, very good though. My concern with any indie game is always that it's a little bit broken or something hasn't been thought through the whole way. This feels like a very complete, well-designed, well-thought-through project. I can't speak to the story at the end of all things because I've only gotten past the first couple of weeks of challenges at this point. And I say weeks because it's like a Persona game or any other game that uses a calendar system where you've got things to talk about on Monday, things to talk about, and maybe a fight to do on Tuesday and Wednesday. You have to complete whatever it is that you're doing in a dungeon by Friday, that kind of setup. And it's really, really good. Highly recommend it. You said you reviewed it, Ains, or that Season Gaming did?
Sorry, I was responding to one of your comments in your chat. Yeah, Steve did. He's actually been playing this for a while, and it got moved, as you said. So he had plenty of time to review it, really dug into it. Reviews range up and down. He gave it an 8. He really, really enjoyed it.
That feels like what I would give it. But I'm, again, not in a place to review it because, as you guys like to tell me, if you haven't beaten the game, you can't give it a review. But at least the early days feels like an 8.
Yeah. Yeah, he really, really enjoyed it. So you can check that out. Obviously, no spoilers or anything, but it's up on the site if you want to read about it. He basically said, it's got a real good sense of individuality, and kind of like a lot of personality in the different characters in the game. So
it does. I mean, it's trying to be cute and funny, but not in kind of the standard flavor of that right now. Not all the millennial joke telling. It's trying to almost channel like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something from the 90s, which I think is an interesting take.
Yeah, no doubt.
My wife's interested in that one, but she didn't like the art, and that's a big part. That's a big part of
she didn't like it.
She plays the game.
I think the art in the screenshots is not as effective as when you're actually playing it. I also thought I would not like the art of this game, and it turned out to be one of my favorite aspects. So you might want to punch.
She also doesn't really like pixel art.
Well, then that's not going to change. I don't think on this one.
Be hot boys. She needs them to be hot boys.
There are hot boys,
but they're pixelated hot boys.
They are pixel hot boys.
I don't know what her hot boys. She doesn't want her hot boys to be censored, Hogue, with the pixels.
All right, fair enough. I don't think I can convince you on that one, but I do think that the art actually proves to be one of the strengths of this game, and I didn't think I would think that when I originally bought it.
Cool, good to know. Right now, she's actually playing that soccer game you were talking about, Inazuma 11.
Inazuma 11 is fantastic. It is ridiculous how big of an RPG that is for a soccer game.
Yeah, she's pretty far into it.
Nice.
Yeah.
She like it?
She does. Yeah, I've been watching her play through it and helping her grind because she's not good at one of the mini games, so she has me do it.
Is it running in the beach with the tires behind you? Because I'm terrible at it.
No, she's good at that one. She's bad at the one where you have to pass it or kick it to the little blue circles. You got to zigzag through all the ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
That one. I'm good at that one.
Those are drone krakens, not ghosts, but I understand the confusion.
They're little ghosts. They're little Pac-Man ghosts. looks like a bed sheet over a basketball.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
The game is excellent, and what Travis is just describing are essentially kind of tactics drills you use to grind up your player stats for the soccer portion of the game. What's surprising there is that even getting to that point in the game, she probably has played it a dozen hours, so that's a bit of a surprise.
I gotta imagine she's near the end because she's over 20 hours, and I think it's like a 30-hour game, according to Time to Beat.
I mean, it's massive
of IGN.
for a soccer RPG.
Yeah.
Well, cool. What's the name of that one again, just for anyone listening?
Inazuma
11.
11. Yes, it'll be shouted at you every time you start the game.
Inazuma 11.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Every single time I start the game, my wife goes, "Ah!" It's like it's a little surprising, I get.
Yeah. It's off-putting. Also, she's afraid of Japanese. Scared of it, naturally.
So Demon School and Inazuma 11, we're already off the beaten track, well off the beaten track.
Well off.
The other game that
Shall I beat us back?
Okay.
The other game that came out this week that I wanted to talk about before we let Travis go fully back on the mainstream track is Kirby's Air Riders.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, Sakurai cannot spend another hour giving us a Nintendo Direct on this game because it's already out, he says, hopefully, into the future. But this game is fantastic. It is a racing game in which predominantly you are only responsible for pressing one button, and that one button slows your character down. Now, that might not make a ton of sense. In fact, it doesn't make a ton of sense, but you're basically using it to skid around corners and boost out of that pause, and you're not holding up or otherwise holding an accelerator to make your little flying, I don't know, I was going to say fur ball. Does Kirby have fur? I actually don't know. Little marshmallow man, go. It's got tons and tons of content. It's got a ridiculously long single-player mode for a racing game. Okay. And ridiculous lore where you find out all sorts of things about space and machines in this particular environment. If you've played Super Smash Brothers, you know how silly the lore can get in these various modes. It's that again. I really love how it looks. I really love how it plays. It's got a lot of couch co-op responsibilities that are fun for the family in Hogue House. I do have one major complaint, and realistically, it's because I think I might be being gaslit by the entire world. And that is, unfortunately, when I take Air Riders online, every time I try to play any online mode, all of my characters pull heavily to the left. And if you're trying to play a zippy racing game and counterbalance a heavy pull to one side or the other, it's almost impossible. But every time I look up this problem, nobody anywhere on Earth seems to be having it. So it's not the controller. It's not my Switch. It's not online, as best I can tell. It's just this game and just in online modes. So I would love to see that fixed. I would love to see anybody else acknowledge that it's happening on Earth. That would be great. I would stop feeling as crazy as I am because I want to play this game more. City Trial is awesome. Racing is awesome. Single player mode is awesome. But I cannot take it to the streets, which if you know me, you know I love to do when I'm playing my multiplayer racing games.
I've never heard of this issue. That's such a strange issue to be having. I don't even know.
It's entirely odd. And you go back to not online. Everything works fine. Everything's calibrated correctly. And if you're playing in online mode, it just goes to the left. And you can fight it. You can beat it with holding to the right. That's no way to play a racing game, folks. Also, you can't turn right, which is a problem.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's something. Was this game deserving of all the spotlight and directs and everything else we got of it, you would say?
I mean, I think it was the best sales pitch I've seen Nintendo do for a long time. I was not interested in this game at all, and then I was, and I understood why I was interested in it. It really does have a lot of content. It feels like a live service game. It feels like something that could have been built around battle passes and all these cosmetics. It has really deep levels of customization, both for your characters and your machines, and yet it's all in the package. You earn it by doing things, playing the game. You might recall this from the days before internet connections. And that was a really nice thing to experience. They've got lots of stuff to go and earn. And it's just really pretty. It's a very different look than Mario Kart World. I had said when the Switch 2 was announced, I was surprised that Nintendo essentially announced 2 racing games for the first 6 months of the system. But it's so different from Mario Kart that I think they can really both coexist as long as you're allowed to turn right online.
All right. Fair enough. Travis, you said you were going to beat us back to the mainstream. What you got? Talk to us.
Yeah, I reviewed Disney Dreamlight Valley Wish Blossom Ranch. I think that review's out.
Let's hope.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Don't look it up. Don't figure it out. Just talk.
It's out. It's out.
Talk about it.
I played a lot of that game this past week. Or was it the week before? I think it was the week before this week. It's interesting. it takes the Disney Dreamlight Valley formula and says, let's add horses, and you can move quickly, which is cool. You're riding horses, you're unlocking different Disney horses. Apparently they're recognizable Disney horses. Who knew? And
I can think of the horse from Tangled. I can think of the horse from Sleeping Beauty. I think that's as far as I get.
The horse from Tangled is one of them, Maximus. There's also
Nice.
the horse from Mulan, Khan, which I did not know was named Khan. And then there's the horse from...
Aren't they fighting the Mongols in Mulan?
Yeah, they're fighting the Mongols, and the horse that they have as China is named Khan. Yeah,
try to make sense
I did not know that, but that seems like a mistake. Seems like one of them cultural mistakes.
We're just there's a Khan involved in this somewhere. Let's name our horse that.
Good enough. And then you get the Pegasus from Hercules, which is called Pegasus.
Yes. All right. I do recognize Pegasus.
Yeah. Pegasus is goofy looking, by the way.
It's funny when you said they were adding horses to the formula, I was thinking that you'd have them like tilling the fields and hooked up to your mill or something.
Actually, they do some of that. They help you. They can help you mine for ore by clapping their hooves against rocks. They can dig holes for you if you're gardening. They can water things, which seems like they're just peeing on your plants. But they don't specify exactly how your horse is watering. So that's cool. And then they add a new map. It's got really large area because you're now on horses, so they are allowed to give you more space because you move incredibly slow in that game. They added this like ability to slide around on ice a while back that makes you faster, but it's still not fast enough. And so getting to hop on a horse and like move much faster is like a huge come up in that game.
I've thought that when I'm just walking around town.
Yeah, one of my biggest complaints, and D's biggest complaints, is like it just takes forever to get places in that game. Even when they added the like ice sliding, it just wasn't.
There's no like fast travel or anything.
There is, but like you'll fast travel and then you'll be like, all right, well now I need to go walk around and look for rocks, and you'll like see a rock like 20 meters away, and it'll take like 40 seconds to walk there, and you're just like, you're like seriously, you like really take your time, like you're frolicking, Anyway, so that solves that. They also add 4 new characters for you to befriend. There are 4 characters I didn't really care about in Disney, and I found out I was extremely wrong for not caring about them.
What are the 4 characters?
Snow White, who is annoying and creepy.
Obviously, the first Disney animated character. I think
she's
that's
very
worthwhile
creepy.
inclusion.
She was like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad to see you," and then she has this like creepy look in her eyes, just like, and you're like, dude, are you possessed? I actually thought she was the villain the entire story. I literally thought she was gonna like turn into another creature and be evil.
Spoilers, apparently Snow White is not the villain.
Snow White is not the villain in the DLC, spoiler, but I thought she was the entire time. And Dee was like, no, I think she's just that way. I was like, really? Anyway.
It's clear you grew up in a different era.
Yeah, she's from a different era. Cruella DeVille, who, from what I can tell, is a British woman who doesn't like animals, and
she likes to skin puppies, particularly.
Yeah. So she's mean to you the entire story and makes you do chores for her while she's mean to you the entire time, which I didn't appreciate. Then there's Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, who is a tiger who bounces on his tail. And
okay, everybody likes Tigger. That's kind of
everybody. I learned everybody likes Tigger, but I can tell you this: he's not a great quest giver. He makes you do a lot of random stuff for no reason, and I'm like, why am I?
Yeah, there's an entire quest line. Fun.
You know, that's a common critique of the Winnie the Pooh verse: is that Tigger is a bad quest giver.
Look, I'm sure he's fine when you're watching a cartoon. I've seen Winnie the Pooh cartoons, okay? But when he is the person telling you what you need to do, and that thing is, hey, I want you to draw faces on a bunch of balloons and make them be a family, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm so confused by this. He basically just gets in the way the whole time. The only useful character they add is Tinkerbell, who is cool conceptually, but she's basically just a tiny sprite on screen who has nothing, like she has very little involvement in the story aside from like occasionally casting spells for you.
In fairness, that sounds like they exactly captured her role in Peter Pan.
That's fair. Well, I don't know. In Peter Pan maybe, but in Hook, you know, Could have made her hot,
Hook.
Julia
I'm
Roberts.
not familiar with this. Hook. Something about Dustin Hoffman.
Oh boy, you never seen Hook?
I've seen Hook. Yes, no,
Okay,
absolutely,
yeah.
I've seen Hook.
Hook's great, classic.
It's Robin
Classic
Williams.
movie. You know what's funny is I thought Hook was like a beloved movie, and I showed it to D. And then I looked it up online, and it's like not liked. Like people don't like that movie. I was like, really?
Oh, really?
I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the review, the Rotten Tomatoes for Hook is like surprisingly negative, and I was like, really? I thought this was like a classic movie. It's kind of funny. Anyway, the main problem I know this is not going to make any sense with what I've told you so far, but I ended up giving the expansion a 6 out of 10. And the reason for that is because it is the buggiest expansion they've put out from this game.
Oh no.
It real bad. I actually had the quest line completely break on me, and I was only able to finish the DLC at all because I got in touch with the developers and they taught me how to use a debug to get around it and basically skip the quest step that broke. But it would have prevented me from getting to the credits about 5 minutes before the end of the expansion. I had other things break on me. There's like a bunch of stuff that doesn't work in this game. I pulled a lever to go up an elevator, and the elevator went right through me as it ascended to where it was going to go, and my character stayed below, and I had to restart the game because there's no way to recall the elevator from down there. So there's just like stuff like that. Disney Dreamlight Valley has always been really buggy. That was my criticism during the beta. It was my criticism during the 1.0. It has always been buggy. This is the most buggy it's been, and it probably has to do with the fact that they added the whole horse thing, and it just means that like your horse is jumping inside objects all the time. And it also has the problem of Dreamlight Valley of being like needlessly grindy. Like every time you unlock a new horse, it's like, now level up with that horse. How do you level up with that horse? Well, you can't have conversations with it because it's a horse, so you can't increase your social standing with it by talking. So you just have to ride it around and like jump over random objects until it likes you enough, and that's the entire like process there. So it basically just is the most Disney Dreamlight Valley expansion yet, both in good ways and bad. Like it just has the most stuff to do, but also the most like bugs and most grindiness. It's actually not the most grindy, but it still has the same kind of like problems that Disney Dreamlight Valley had. So I gave it a 6. I'm sure that in like a couple weeks that'll probably be an irrelevant score once they fix some of the stuff, but like I wouldn't have been able to finish the game if I weren't reviewing it, and I feel like that's noteworthy when giving it a score. Like it is quite bad in terms of its bugginess. So anyway, I played that. I played Clover Pit because that came out on Game Pass, and I figured
I played that a bit too.
Pretty good. I've been playing VR games. Getting back into VR. I went and did some escape rooms. What's it called? Room of Realities or something like that. My wife loves escape rooms, so anyway, I'm doing escape rooms in VR. That's a little update for me. And then obviously I've been playing Escape from Tarkov, which I have a review in progress up for right now. If you've never played Escape from Tarkov, it's the progenitor of the extraction shooter. It is also the jankiest game that has ever been created. In some ways, intentionally so, which makes it interesting. In other ways, poorly thought out, whether intentional or not. And so it can be both a kind of wonderfully opaque game in terms, like it kind of feels like a little like you're playing a Souls-like for the first time, where you're like, none of this makes sense to me and I'm kind of figuring it out. It's very like hard to understand. And then in other ways, just not fun, like the UI, the technical performance, the fact that it's filled with cheaters and the developer seems to be doing nothing about it. All that stuff is just like, so my time with it has been interesting, fun. I have a Sherpa that I'm playing with who's teaching me all about the game. But it is also devastatingly behind the times because it is a almost 10-year-old game at this point, and its age showeth. Yeah.
By the way, you can say the Sherpa. It doesn't bother.
I can say the Sherpa. All right. This is a fun part of my life, but my Sherpa for Escape from Tarkov is Ains's biological son, Mike, who is,
as opposed to all my other sons.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, we're getting into an age of robots. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's Ains's biological son, who's a 20-year-old person who I'm closer to in age than I am with Ains. which is interesting. and yeah, we just been hanging out every day. And now I know everything about Ains's son, which is
playing Tarkov.
remarkably
And
little.
nothing more about me.
Nothing
Shooting
more about
the
Ains because
Tarkovs, defending the Tarkovs.
He is a son who claims to know literally nothing about his father, including how old he is or anything like that. But he knows everything about Tarkov, and that's really all I need to. That's all I need to know. He's a Tarkov pro, and he's been helping me get back in the game. For context, I haven't played Tarkov. I think I played it in 2018 for like a second, and then I picked it back up 2019, 2020, like right around before COVID started and then going into COVID. And I have not played it since. So I've been off that game for about 5 years. But when I did play it, I played it for like over 100 hours. Like I got kind of into that game. And a lot has changed, but also a lot hasn't changed, which is a bad thing when it's a five years later, right? And so my perspective of it and where it stands in the world of gaming and also where it stands in the genre of extraction shooters is obviously greatly shifted now that we've seen like very good, very polished extraction shooters, of which Tarkov is not. And so it's interesting, and it's going to be really tough to review it at this point because it has kind of a historical value as a game, and it does things differently than other extraction shooters do, but it also has a lot of baggage that I think is dragging it down. So it's been a very interesting review process, and I'm probably going to be playing it for at least another week before I continue writing about it, because you do have to play about 1,000 hours of this game before you really understand it or can speak credibly about it. So,
and Travis, why is it getting reviewed now? Is it just going to 1.0?
It got 1.0, yeah. Got 1.0 like a week after Arc Raiders launched, which was a fantastic time for Tarkov to drop a 1.0. He said sarcastically.
I was going to say, that's got to be sarcasm, right?
Extremely sarcastically. It's like the worst time they could have launched this game. They basically completely missed their window to be like the most influential extraction shooter. For context, before the 1.0, they were not on Steam. And so you had to go and download their client, and then they have a bunch of different versions of the game. Basically, they were milking it for money by not putting it on Steam and like selling all these. There's a $250 version of the game that gives you absolute advantages in the game that are impossible to gain through gameplay. And so it has like a weird pay to win thing. It's just a little scummy. And so now that it's on Steam, it sort of has missed its window to be like the extraction shooter. So it's kind of an interesting case study in game development and publishing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well,
anyway, that's my mainstream update.
Mainstream update from Thai Guy Travis. I've got a couple things to talk about. Before though, obviously with the issues we had at the start of this live stream, the links being wrong, having to put new links up. For anyone who's with us right now, if you could share this out, like whatever, it'll help us, because I posted on social media the wrong links. Wrong link is now up on the channel. There's all kinds of things that are probably messed up from that error. So if you could help us out, we would appreciate it. So a couple things. I was playing Total Chaos. Total Chaos is a game that was revealed at the Xbox Partner Direct this week, which we're going to talk a little bit more about here shortly. But it was made by a small studio that was actually making a game originally as a Doom 2 mod. So the original Doom 2. And if you haven't seen this, a bunch of small developers over the years have made like offshoot games using Doom 2 and the kind of that corridor run and gun foundation. And basically what they turned this into is a full-on horror game. So it doesn't necessarily play a lot like the original Doom. It's still corridor focused. But it's kind of like if you took classic Doom and mixed it with like Condemned. It plays a little like that. It's got some psychological stuff going on. You kind of go to this remote island where obviously something terrible happened, and you start kind of uncovering what happened. The first 20, 30, 45 minutes or so I was playing, I was like, wow, this is kind of, it's kind of floaty and it's kind of janky a bit. But I started getting into it, and I think I'm a chapter or two in now. There's 9 chapters apparently. And I want to see where it goes, because the trailer was really cool. It looks like it really goes some crazy places, which is my type of thing. So, yeah, it's on Game Pass. It's open up to download right now. It's interesting, if nothing else. So I'll be checking more of that out here in the coming week, and we'll talk about it.
You had me at Condemned.
Yeah, it's don't let me steer you wrong. It's not Condemned, but it's kind of got that Xbox 360 era feel. You kind of pick up little
I heard Condemned,
consumables.
and I'm rolling with it. It's exactly like Condemned.
So check it out. It's out there.
Please join us in 2 weeks when Travis says that wasn't like Condemned.
That wasn't like Condemned.
You liar.
We got season 1 of Battlefield 6 update, or the mid-season update, I should say. So they added a new map. They, updated some things. There's a free pass in there and everything. So I've been playing a lot of Battlefield 6. I wanted to mention, if you guys didn't see, because this just came out yesterday or maybe Friday. This is quote from GameBiz is since launching in October, Battlefield 6 has become both the best-selling game of 2025 in the US and the biggest seller in the franchise's history. That is data from Circana. Also suggests the title generated the, quote, highest single-month U.S. physical and digital full game track dollar sales total in 3 years. So highest.
People were hungry for Battlefields.
Yep. And this is
Thirsty
the craziest
bitches.
stat to show Battlefield's resurgence. The October sales of Battlefield, and let's keep in mind it came out the second week of October, so 3 weeks of sales, basically. The October sales volume of Battlefield 6 has surpassed the lifetime sales of Battlefield 1.
That's 5 better.
Yeah. So 5 times, exactly. So Battlefield is clearly doing extremely well. And if you also didn't see in parallel, Black Ops 7 has been hit by it. I think between Arc Raiders and Battlefield 6, Black Ops 7 is not hitting the numbers anywhere near the numbers that Black Ops 6 hit last year. And the sales report, at least out of the UK, was the one we saw. There's some combination kind of reports and player figures and stuff that just show it's not doing nearly as good as Black Ops 6.
Do you think Black Ops 7 would have been better received without a campaign at all?
Yes, and I only say that because Alex, who's in the chat with us right now, reviewed the total package. He reviews Call of Duty every year, and he was just doing the campaign, and then we talked last week about how bad he said the campaign was, but he ended up reviewing the whole package, and he said the multiplayer's good, Zombies is quite good. He gave Zombies individually an 8, gave the campaign a 3, and said it's abysmal. So
all the reviews I've seen have said that this is very high caliber multiplayer Call of Duty, but also with the same review, they say something god awful about the campaign, right? And all the articles this week about them letting you skip the campaign to get whatever the post-campaign endgame content is. And I don't have this game, so I don't fully understand what they're talking about. But all of them include sarcastic jokes about how bad the campaign is.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, it's really tracking badly. The clips are everywhere. We don't know to the degree because we all live in our own little ecosystems and bubbles, but it's very clear that the social media space plays a role in a lot of these things. We've seen it on the opposite way with Arc Raiders, right? Arc Raiders positivity and kind of funny clips and everything are everywhere. Where Black Ops 7 has been the direct opposite. It's just getting panned almost universally. But even the guys I know who play
Nuketown back.
Well, I was going to say, even the guys I know who play Call of Duty every year, like multiplayer, they'll play just for the camos, the usual stuff, right? Call of Duty, even them have been kind of down on this. They're either back to playing Battlefield, they're playing Arc Raiders. They're just really playing other things. So that's anecdotal.
I saw a clip of a guy on Arc Raiders, and he was doing like solos, and he was with a group of fellow Raiders, and they were all like getting ready to extract together, walking on over
I
to
know
the
where you're
extraction
going
point.
with this.
And then he goes, "Hey guys, after this, do you guys want to play Black Ops 7?" And then everybody just looks at him, and then just start shooting the shit.
They just kill him.
Like, guys, I was joking. Just kill him. Just cap this guy for suggesting blops.
Yeah.
Too bad. Too bad.
We'll see. I mean, we've said for many years, or at least kind of the shooter community has said for many years, like Battlefield at its peak was incredible. It was in my preference better than Call of Duty by a significant margin. And as we've talked about Battlefield 6, they've kind of nailed it. There's, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but in terms of Battlefield, it's very, very good. And so, it's interesting to see. I think between Arc Raiders and Battlefield, it kind of was the perfect combo to really, punch Call of Duty in the nose. And I think, I don't know about you guys, I'm not a big Call of Duty guy, but it really does feel, and we've been saying this for years, that they need to take a step back and kind of rethink this entire structure of Call of Duty. I know typically it's the best-selling game every year, so it's kind of silly to say that, but it just feels like they've kind of jumped the shark.
Than Battlefield, right? That's what you just got done recapping.
No, I just
Oh,
said
it's not.
Battlefield's the best-selling game of the year.
Oh, I thought you were talking about how good Battlefield's selling, and then you capped it off with, and somehow Call of Duty's still selling better.
No,
Okay.
they're saying
No, we don't have
Black Ops
numbers
7.
on them yet.
No, they don't have numbers, but there's numbers
Would you
out
be
of the UK
surprised
that
if you learned that it is sold better than Battlefield somehow?
I don't think anybody
would
should be surprised about Call of Duty winning a sales race. But
Yeah.
everything we have so far, and Ains was just about to say before I rudely stepped on him, that the numbers we do have are like the British digital, the stuff that comes out the earliest, and everything suggests it's got a 30 or 40% decrease from where we would expect them to be. So I think we also have talked in the past about Call of Duty. Like, it's no great prognostication on our part to say everything ends at some point. Call of Duty has been the absolute Godzilla-sized king of video game sales for a very long time. It might continue for a long time from here. This might be a blip, or it might win the day in 2025. But it wouldn't surprise any of us to say at some point, it's not, you don't need to be a Call of Duty killer anymore, just like you don't need to be a Halo killer anymore, because these things have their time.
Halo.
Sorry, Ains, I didn't mean to bring up Halo.
Not at all. You're good. Yeah. No, agree. Exactly what Hogue said. I think some of the data was like 30, 40% down. Some was 67% down. And then it was very clear if you look at just the messaging, right? After Black Ops 6 last year when they launched, they were all over social media saying #1 most played game, best launch in Call of Duty history, all this stuff. This year, their quote was, "We're seeing good engagement with Black Ops 7." And it's just like, yeah, there's a clear drop off here.
As you know, the game has released successfully.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, but here we are. The one other note I was just going to make real quick was on Arc Raiders. I did play Clover Pit as well. Pretty fun game, rogue slot machine roguelike. What's not the like, but Arc Raiders, continue to play that. We kind of talked about this previously, Travis, but I wanted to get your thoughts too. Is like, we're at a point now where it's still the buzz everywhere. Like Arc Raiders still being played like crazy. But for me, like someone who had dozens of hours prior to the game even releasing just because of the preview events, and then has now played a lot of hours since its full release, kind of done everything I want to do in that game. You know what I mean? So I found myself yesterday, I was playing with a buddy, and it was like, we're running around and he's like, "You looking for anything?" I was like, "I'm looking for some light bulbs." And then after a few minutes, I was like, I'm running around looking for light bulbs. Like, what am I doing? Like, we could be playing Battlefield, or I could be playing anything, a Ghost or Yote or whatever. And we switched over to Battlefield after that point. But it's like, I think for me, Arc Raiders has a unique thing in the sense of it's super fun to play. Everything we've talked about on the past couple weeks. But long term, as we talked about at a high level, it doesn't have like the Diablo-ish Path of Exile long-term skill building, loot building, hunt for the character that keeps me playing over here. But it also doesn't have the huge skill gap, fast-paced, competitive multi PvP side of like a Finals, a Halo, any other insert shooter here. So like it walks this weird middle line for me where it's like, once I've kind of finished everything and I can't continue skill building, I'm not getting my PvP itch scratched. I feel like I'm going to be okay. I love Dark Raiders, great game, but I'm kind of good with it at this point.
Yeah, I guess I never really got to get to that point. I played as like a ton of it and then had to move on. But I will say, playing Tarkov and some of the other games I've been, like when I was playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, I was like wanting to go back to it. D also like hopped in with me and so was playing some Arc Raiders, which was really fun to see her like go through
Nice.
some of the early stuff. So I do think that Arc Raiders has meaningful pursuits in the late game. I just think that they're pursuits that maybe not everybody cares about, like unlocking the schematics for all the weapons. That takes an eternity. That's like a huge thing to chase. I think there's
that's the expeditions. The project.
Yeah, I never killed a queen. I still want to do that. And it sounds like I missed my window because they nerfed the crap out of the hole cracker, which sucks. But I do. And then they unlocked the new map, and it'll kind of. I say this every time there's a live service game, and for some reason nobody believes me, but you kind of have to wait for the content delivery pipeline to show itself to know if a game is going to be successful. Like you can have a great foundation, and then if you don't top it off with content, people forget about your game and they move on. You have examples like Helldivers 2, where despite them not really releasing a ton of content quickly, they managed to capture the community by just having a great live service like plan. Like they just had like somebody who was managing it and doing cool stuff within that world. And then you've had other games where people played it, loved it, ran out of content, and never went back to it. And it can be really hard to recapture people's attention once they move on. So it'll be interesting to see how this studio does. Obviously, my instinct is that they will probably be all right at it, since Embark has done a great job with the finals, and they clearly they have live service chops, but making PvE content is a whole different ballgame. It's much more difficult. It is the vast majority of the failures we've seen in the live service space are those who thought that making PvE content would be as scalable as like Fortnite's model of not doing that. And turns out it's much harder. So
yeah, I could definitely see continuing to play it and engage with it, but to your point, it's like we've seen their roadmap, and Embark is really good at this. But to your point, also, it is different from the finals in that way. It's not just adding a map and adding, cosmetics and a new gun or something, which still takes time, of course. Don't want to detract.
You have to add balancing. You have to make new AI enemies to fight. You have to there's just so much more to do than put a map in there and do like balancing of weapons. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm also watching the community's positivity fall apart in real time on the subreddit, which is really funny. I kind of mentioned this when I wrote my review of we don't know how long this will hold, but I've been burned before, and I'm kind of already starting to see it. And luckily it hasn't been like cheaters and stuff, but I'm already starting to see some of the toxicity come out at the edges. And so it'll be interesting to see how long it takes for that dam to break.
Yeah, because once you're at my point, or a lot of the friends I'm playing with points, right? There's not a whole lot else to do PvE wise. You've done it all. You have you've tried all the weapons. All your workbenches are upgraded. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff's done. It's like, all right, if you're going in there now and you see people, it's like, why not screw with them, or why not?
You finish the quest lines and stuff. I'm still working.
I'm right at the end.
Really?
There's a couple left to do, but both my friends who I play with regularly done them. They're done all the projects.
It's crazy. I'm at over 100 hours and I still don't even have all the workbenches upgraded. I feel like I'm just playing incredibly unoptimized. I'm mostly doing solos, and I come back from expeditions, and 95% of the time I haven't made any progress toward a quest or a workbench upgrade. I'm just I end up with whatever random loot I have on me. So
yeah. No, I mean, people played it to death. It's very addicting. We've talked about, so. But so I think that'll wrap us up there. Let's get caught up on a couple super chats. We got a bit ago now, as we've been talking.
Bruno Karam Muller offers me 50. What's the R?
Is that rupees?
Rupees. It's rupees or rubles. We can all agree. Hello, trio. When are you expecting the next Fumido Ueda game? I never played Ico, but loved. Ooh, this is really challenging me.
I wasn't looking. Sorry. I never. Wait.
Shadow of the Colossus?
Shadow of the Colossus and The Last Guardian.
The Last Guardian, thank you. I even named my dog Trico because of his long ears, smiley face with stars for eyes. Have you ever named anything a video game name / reference?
I can answer that with an affirmative. I also wanted to say, at least in my quickie search just now, our $ appears to be Brazilian real.
Oh, okay.
Not positive there, but it is a possibility. Okay. And yes, we have 2 bearded dragons in the Hogue household. The first of which is named Bahamut, because my daughter absolutely adores Final Fantasy 16 and the Bahamut character and Prince Dion. So we named him Bahamut. The other one is named JJ after the Michigan quarterback of the National Championship 2023 team. So
it's not a video game, sir.
What are you feeding those bearded dragons? Crickets?
Our bearded dragons eat greens and roaches.
Roaches?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Do you find them in the house, the roaches?
Yeah, we just send them out, actually. They're just like little Godzillas.
No, my experience is that I had lizards as a kid too. And my experience is whatever you're feeding them, you will find those creatures in your house, inevitably.
Well, we've been lucky so far with the roaches. They aren't very mobile. And they are fun to feed to the bearded dragons, who do literally walk around their terrariums like Godzilla, and just eat these little guys up. So
yeah, I love the absent look in their eyes when they're eating something. Like they'll have like a thing half broken in their throat, and they'll just be like,
"That's right. That's actually very accurate." Travis is giving you the full beardy experience.
There you go. Bruno, let's see. Fumito Ueda, yeah. So quick search because I had to remember on this one. He has announced Project Robot is what he called it. But a few details available that I can remember, and I quick look to see if I'm forgetting anything. But unless anyone has anything I'm not finding, we don't really know what or when that's going to be. So, but I know there's that community behind kind of Weta Games of Shadow of the Colossus, Ico, and Last Guardian. That is like they beloved games. So we'll see. I don't know. Sorry, don't have any more info for you. Travis, you ever name anything after a video game reference?
I don't think I've had anything to name. I don't have kids or pets, so like, what am I naming? Like my
appliances.
I named my guy down there Rex from Mass Effect. You guys, you know what I mean?
I don't
think.
I don't want more clarity, but I don't.
I got quads. You know what I mean? My quads. I don't know.
We originally named our dog Bruce after Bruce Campbell. Well,
that's cool.
Evil Dead and Army of Darkness and Bubba Hotep and all that.
Broken Helix.
Wait.
It's a video game reference.
How am I going to forget the name? Burn Notice. I was trying to think of something.
Yes, he is in Burn Notice.
Campbell's done that's like less known. Burn Notice.
The Spider-Man movies.
Got him. Yeah, the Spider-Man movies. And
you guys ever watch Burn Notice?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Underrated show.
Michael Weston in Miami.
Michael Weston in Miami, guys.
And our cat is named Carlin after George Carlin.
Nice. That's a good
no video game references I can think
also
of.
Yeah, I love the George Carlin games.
Really I mean, technically Bahamut is like a religious reference, but it's a video game reference to my daughter.
True. Yeah, true. All right. Bruno, thank you very much. Sorry.
Is it ancient Egyptian? Is that the
no. I want to say it is.
Am I thinking of Baphomet? Yeah,
maybe.
Probably. Yeah. Bruno, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Alex,
the Slayer Giant gives me $1.99 cheap. Son of a bitch. Battlefield sales finally made me give Mind's Eye a try. Man. Interesting. I saw that it was on sale 50%
Black Friday
off,
sales, by the way, not Battlefield sales.
I thought not enough. 50% off is not cheap enough. I'm waiting. I want it to be sub 10. Sub 10.
Yeah, he spent 15 and he has been sharing clips of Mind's Eye in our season gaming.
Wait, where did he get it for 15? I saw it for 30.
Don't know. But he's been sharing clips. And they have been hilarious. So he's been really enjoying. He said it is not worth it, and perhaps he was too harsh on Call of Duty 7's campaign, Black Ops 7's campaign.
Amazing.
After playing Mind's Eye. So
what did he give the campaign?
3.
Call of Duty. Oh yeah, no, that's not a real 3, Alex. Come on, a real 3. I'll show you a real 3.
I think he's experiencing a real 3.
Yeah, I think he is. People always think they know what a 3 is until they actually play a 3, and then they go, "Oh, okay, I get it."
Well, by our review scale, it fit a 3 from his description. So
wild. Oops. My face is chopped in half. I'm dead
now. All right. Let's move on, guys. Let's talk about a couple main topics here. So we've got the Xbox 360 turning 20 years old. And I figured we would talk about that because, reflecting on where gaming is today and how the Xbox 360 changed gaming is pretty interesting when you go back and look at that. So real quick, you can run down these lists. I'm sure I'm going to forget some. But kind of looking through the history of the 360, some of these I remembered, some of these I looked up. But it's been 20 years, obviously, and you may not realize just how much the 360 did for modern gaming. So it introduced achievements, which I still hate it for today. It brought in the HD era, as it was called, which was primarily led by Gears of War, was kind of the showpiece when it came out shortly after 360's launch in 2006. It was the first console to have integrated wireless controllers right out of the box.
In an
it
online
became
store.
the first full media center. So it had the storefront, it had apps. People were reflecting on ordering a pizza through Pizza Hut, if you remember those days where you could do that on your Xbox 360.
Did that in college.
It introduced, obviously greatly expanded Xbox Live and online multiplayer as we know it today. It introduced voice parties, which, again, if you remember, you used to have to invite people directly. You didn't have parties. Party chat was a new thing back then. It introduced Xbox Live Arcade and kind of the downloadable kind of games on that, in that front.
That's the big one.
That is the big one.
Front.
Everything we know today. Yep. How people pretty much own their entire libraries today. And then, of course, which is funny to reflect on now, of course, in hindsight, but it introduced the Kinect in 2010, which at the time was the fastest selling electronic device in history, selling 8 million units in 60 days, which is wild to think
People
about.
use that device for not Xbox too. I remember my college professor bought a Kinect to do like other kind of experiments. It was like he was using the device to do like augmented reality, like weird shit. And he was like, this is the cheapest way to gain access to these types of IR scanners and like all the tech that was in the Kinect. It was like a
lot of that with the Kinect
device.
Xbox One camera. Yeah, because it was even more advanced and people used it for all sorts of stuff, which is kind of crazy because if you read up on the actual development of the Kinect camera for the Xbox One, how much went into it, like the tech itself was pretty freaking amazing. And it was used, to your point, for all sorts of stuff, but we know we won't rehash the rest of the history of the Kinect and Xbox One after the
consoles have been good at that for consumer electronics, right? I remember PlayStation 2 I bought for a DVD player because the DVD players were $1,000 at the time,
and Blu-ray for the PS3.
Yep.
So there goes your light bulb, Hogue. I love it.
Yes, apologies for the haunted mansion lighting. Look. Yeah, I have a light bulb that refuses to stay in either the on or off position. So apologies to anybody watching and going, is that all right?
It's better than a smoke alarm going off.
Also true. Or your camera just Elgatoing on you, as we refer to it here on the show.
True.
The 360 for me, guys, I just want to, if you have any memories or anything in particular, I'll start us off with like that launch. I went to midnight launch for the Xbox 360. Good friend of mine went with me. We took it home. I bought 6 games. The classic Peter Jackson's King Kong, of course.
6 games.
Very good.
6 games with the 360 at launch, yeah. And we got home. I had it. This is when I had my 100-inch screen with projector in my house way back when. And we hooked it up. And we played all the way till like, I want to say 11 a.m. maybe. And the funny thing after it all, we had Madden, King Kong, Project Gotham 3. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple. Perfect Dark. Remember Perfect Dark Zero?
Cameo.
That's right. That was the 5th one. And there's one other I'm forgetting. But the game we played most was Geometry Wars.
Yeah.
Classic game. And we just sat there and played that game for hours. And real good time. A lot of fun memories with the 360. I know we've talked about it here before, but the Halo 3 launch is a moment in time that will never be captured again, I don't think, in that same sense. Halo 3, I've got the Halo 3 Xbox 360 right there behind me, and Halo 4 actually. But a lot of good times with that console. I think when I think about like my memories of playing with friends and gaming, Xbox 360 is the only console I put up there with the 16-bit era. 16-bit era is always special to me, but the 360 I think is definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite consoles of all time.
Yeah, the 360 is close for me. I think the red rings really kind of take it down a notch. I had to go to I think it was the FedEx store at the time, like 8 different times. And the good news is by a certain point during the red ring kind of scandal period, they just knew what they were doing. Like you just come up with it naked and be like, here's the slip that they made me print off. Here you go. Get it back to me soonish, if you would. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. It was funny because if you remember when it first happened and if it was first starting, Microsoft or Xbox would send you the box with the label prepaid. It would come instantly, and then they would ship it overnight. They would fix it and ship it overnight back to you. So you got it back in less than a week originally.
I remember it being really fast.
And then as like $1 billion, right? Fixing that problem.
I think like $2 billion. Yeah, there's a famous story of what's his name, Ballmer, approving the cost for it. But as it went on and it got bigger and bigger and bigger, that timeline stretched out a bit. It became weeks. They didn't overnight because I'm sure the cost was just going through the roof. But yeah, I had a few red rings. My original launch console red ringed. I had the Resident Evil 5 red Xbox, that one red ringed. I don't think my Halo 3 one ever did, but
I have a day one white plastic Xbox 360 that never red ringed, and it was my champion throughout all of that.
Is it behind a pane of glass in a museum somewhere?
It is not. It's in a drawer right up here. I still have it, and every once in a while I turn it on just to prove to people like this is an Xbox that just didn't have that problem. I don't know. I got lucky.
No towel trick.
I only got to stop returning it when I got a new one with a different serial number. Like it was not the same box.
Got it. So yours just like kept happening. It was just like red ring, and then you had to send it back in. Damn, crazy.
It was a fundamental flaw. Yeah, they couldn't. I'm trying to remember the details now, but they fixed something with the heatsink, but it was never like a permanent fix. You know what I mean? And then in the Halo 3 one, it had the first. Is it Predator? They had like a new chip style in that one, and then by the time they got to this one, which was the redesign, they had fixed it. But the original design was just like a mess. Yeah. So it's a crazy time.
Well,
but good
my 360 memory. Obviously, all of us were in middle school when the Xbox 360 came out, as I was.
I was working at a law firm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was in middle school.
Old was I?
So
2004
was it?
2005.
2005.
I was 27.
27. Wow, I am closer in age to your son than you. That's interesting. Yeah, so I was in middle school, dealing with middle school stuff.
Did you get a 360?
I did. Yeah, I did. I might have been the first the first console I bought with my own money was the original Xbox, because I had a job at that time, because I needed money. Poor little.
That's why most people work.
It's usually why you work.
Rat. You need money as a kid, so you lie to people about how old you are, and you get work. That's and that's usually good enough. Yeah, and I bought a 360. It was, I think I knew it was coming like years in advance, so I saved up like every penny I had and bought it, and then it did not red ring on me, so I never had that issue. I played a ton.
Appreciated your effort that you put in to get it.
That's right. Yeah. I think I was planning on only buying Oblivion on day one, and then it got delayed. So I think the only game I was able to buy the day that came out was Perfect Dark Zero, which I played so much of, and I used that media player so you could play music over the game.
Use that all the time.
Oh my god, yeah! I remember I had my Zune hooked up or something. It was some device hooked up to my Xbox and was just playing my own soundtrack while in multiplayer lobbies for Perfect Dark Zero. And I must have got almost every achievement in that damn game. And then that Xbox followed me through high school. I remember I was ASB president of my high school, and I made an announcement that I had beaten Halo the day after it came out, because I did like the school PA system announcement, and I was like, I beat Halo and Legendary last night, haha. And it was like the morning after it came out at midnight. And then it followed me to college as well. I played that thing. I mean, it was, the Xbox 360 period was so long, but if during the ages I was when it came out, like 8th grade to junior year of college or something like that.
It's 8 years.
Yeah. It was like the years. It was like the most things happening in 8 years. Were those years that I experienced the 360. It was like a companion from middle school through to high school through to college. Like I don't think I had any friends that I had been friends with for as long as I had that Xbox by the time I was in college. So like, and certainly not any girlfriends. Am I right, guys? Am I right, gamers? That must have lasted through my first 3 girlfriends.
I don't know, man. My girlfriend was pre-ordering me Resident Evils in the nearby town during college. You didn't have the same experience?
Was your girlfriend your current wife?
Yes.
Yeah, that checks out. You and Ains are crazy. My dating history was horrible. I cannot believe you guys just, met your partners that early. It's unbelievable.
First day of orientation in college.
I didn't. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you were still pretty young back then. Comparatively? How many girlfriends did you have, Ains? Serious girlfriends.
Serious girlfriends? Like long term?
Yeah, long term. More than 6 months.
5-ish? 6?
5-ish? Okay, that's actually not bad.
Yeah, long term.
Yeah. A lot more than that. I think every 6 months I was ordering a new one. That was my red ring, was my dating history. I was sending it back to overnighting it to Microsoft every 6 months.
Yeah, it is crazy though if you think about those years. I in some ways, it's easy to be nostalgic and to say, man, I miss those days in the gaming industry without realizing all the fantastic ways we have gaming today. So I don't want to be that guy, but the times I had during that era with friends and kids, my kids were young at the time, right? So we had a lot of Borderlands 2. You had Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 and 2 at their peak. You had Halo 3 and 4. You had, Halo Reach. You had Oblivion, to your point, Travis, which was a revelation when that game released. You had Mass Effect 1. You had Gears of War. You had, all these games, that BioShock, like Assassin's Creed, all that era of those classic IP that are now classic IPs started during that era. And if you don't remember at the time, because PlayStation 3 came out a year later, remember, and it also didn't have the same support from third party out of the gate. So like Mass Effect 1, those big games were not on the PS3. They were all 360 games, which is crazy
Oblivion
to think about nowadays. Right? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. It's crazy to think about now, right? Given where we are in the industry, but back then it's crazy.
Xbox just scooped them. I also remember it was like the cool console. Like I wasn't cool, obviously, but I remember it was on like MTV, and like friends that were not everywhere. Gamers were talking about how the 360 was like cool. When I was like, damn, Microsoft just went in there with the marketing money and like made people think that the Xbox was where it was at.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just crazy because PlayStation and Nintendo were so embedded in the gaming community, and the Microsoft was like, we're going to make the Xbox popular not with those people. We're going to make it popular with like a whole new group of people that we think could be gamers. You know what I mean?
If you go watch any TV show from the early 2000s, like one of my favorite shows was a show called Chuck, right? Which was just a spy comedy, but one of the bits was that he worked a normal job at the equivalent of a Best Buy. And like every single time they'd have a scene and it would be in front of, Master Chief or Gears of War standees and everything else. Like that's just what they did. And you get used to it. But yeah, for me, I'm not nostalgic in particular for that time. The Microsoft Xbox offerings were never really where I mostly gamed. You can tell from my reactions to things like Gears of War and Halo. But I do think, as anybody that follows Hoag's Notes knows, I love smaller games, and Xbox Arcade basically built the indie environment that we know now. And it would have come, I think, anyway with Steam and Valve, but the access on console to all these tiny little experiences, you mentioned Geometry Wars, I was so enamored with the notion that I didn't have to go out to the Best Buy or anywhere else to get something, and I could just feel like playing a new thing, seeing what was available that week in the store and checking it out. And I think folks know I update everyone on the fact that I look through the eShop, which is my current digital storefront that I use the most on the Nintendo Switch. Every week it updates, and there's a lot of garbage there, ton of stuff to ignore. But there are real gems. I try to bring as many as I can to your attention every week. And I just love it. It's an entirely different environment. And that really does start with the Xbox 360 and Xbox Arcade.
Yeah. I remember they would do Summer of Arcade, right? Where they would highlight a title every week. And they've actually talked about with Game Pass how they do that. How do you curate these experiences so that you have a lot of availability in games, but to where it's not saturated like we see in Steam, where it's just like thousands of games a week where you can never find, not necessarily find the stuff you're looking for. And I think that era, to your point, because releases were not as prevalent as they were now, but I think they did a really good job in kind of changing that. And the sad thing is, right, is when you reflect on Xbox and the people like me or others who grew up and really were in that vein of Halo and Gears and all that, you look at what they built, all the people who built that, the Robbie Box of the world, right? All those guys who were really forward thinking in the gaming industry, they left them all behind, man. They all took off. The Xbox One era, we know what happened there. And it's almost sad to reflect on now, where Xbox was driving, how much they've changed the industry for the positive, and yet how nowadays their reputation among a lot of the gaming community is so negative. It's really weird. You know what I mean?
I do. I do think some of that is driven by social media liking to be negative more than liking to be positive.
Good.
But certainly Microsoft has had a number of missteps.
Yes.
This year alone, but certainly in the last generation. And the 360 was really the height of their powers.
For sure. 100%. Yeah. Castle Crashers. Great shout out, Dano. Love that game. But anyway.
This is the 1 versus 100 era, right? I mean, they're doing all sorts of experiments with their online infrastructure.
Yep.
Yeah. They had that digital retro arcade where you could buy arcade cabinets and put them in your arcade. Which,
so awesome.
If you spent any money on that, you can't even access it anymore, which is crazy. But
yeah,
I mean, this is also the era where we have all the arguments about horse armor, and we were learning how DLC is going to interact with our games.
I remember people were like, "We've got it so bad. Look at all this DLC," and then now it's like, "Oh, microtransactions are the way."
Yeah. Like I said, Air Riders is super weird because they're not trying to sell us anything extra.
Yeah, I think it kind of reminds me of like how good unlimited PTO sounds, and then you get it and you realize it's not actually unlimited.
It means no PTO.
It's a trap. Yeah, it means you're never going to take a day off for the rest of your life. I've had unlimited PTO at every job I've ever had. And guess
basically that's how a law firm works. Is like, you can be off as long as the clients let you. As it turns out, that's never.
As long as you get all the work done. By the way, you work at a startup and there's never
an end.
We don't have enough people for there to ever be.
Yeah, as soon as you've crossed off everything on your checklist, you're good to go. Oh, that never happens.
Here's 10 people's jobs. I hope you like that. Yeah. So that kind of reminds me of like, it's like in the future, games will be free to play. If you told me that when I was in middle school playing my 360, I would have been like, what? Seriously?
It's still amazing.
Games will be free to play? And then it's like, and another finger curls on the monkey's paw.
Yes, exactly.
I don't view it as a monkey paw. I really don't. I view the free-to-play games as me taking advantage of people with less self-control. Like all the whales that help fund my free-to-play gaming, I'm never funding the development of these things. I play Honkai Star Rail, I play Fortnite, I play all these other things, and they aren't making their bank on me.
Well, the problem is,
look at
even if you don't spend money on it, all you're playing is a poorly designed game that because it was designed poorly on purpose so that you would spend money, right? Like it's like, Honkai Star Rail, we're going to give you character unlocks at like an incredibly sluggish rate because we want you to spend money on it. And so I think it has effects on game design that go beyond like, who cares? It doesn't, like Assassin's Creed does that.
But by the time I'm having fun with it, it doesn't matter to me. Right, like I said when I was talking last year about Infinity Nikki, yes, obviously they have all these different mechanisms to give them more money, but if they've otherwise delivered a game that you're enjoying, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, my point is I think sometimes you're enjoying a game less, and I mean maybe you don't know it, but like Assassin's Creed, like if you don't get the version or buy the upgrade that gives you double XP, your pace in that game is like painful. It like sucks to grind through it versus playing like the double XP version of that game is like clearly the one that they designed first, and then they
definitely
took it out and they made it half as quick. And then if you're playing that version of the game, you're just getting a worse version of the game. It's just stuff like that where I'm like, all right, this is horrible.
Yeah, I know. I get what you both are saying. I think we're kind of all in agreement. The like I was saying last week with Where the Winds Meet, I'm playing that game and you look at it conceptually in terms of the world, the characters, the combat, everything. You're like, as a kid, to your point, Travis, someone telling me, look at this game and then realize you can play it for free. I've been like, what are you talking about? Like that doesn't make any sense. But then, of course, to Hoag's point, there's a million things you can buy in that game. So it's walking that line of free to play versus how it impacts your actual design and enjoyment of the game. I think some obviously do it better than others.
Yeah, absolutely. You can be too aggressive and you can be too greedy. 100%. I agree with Travis on that. I'm just saying that there are a number of experiences where I find that I'm having plenty of fun and am not asked really to spend more money than I want to. Now, I am wired, as we've talked about, to enjoy grinding and to feel bad about paying out of that process, right? I immediately like a game less when I have purchased what I could otherwise grind for. And so I'm weird. I'm a weirdo in the gaming space.
No, I think
understand
that's
that.
normal. I think you always think you want to skip the grind and then you pay to do it and you're like, oh, the grind was the reason I'm playing, and then you stop playing. And the developer made their money. Like I've definitely experienced that. Like I don't really buy DLC or microtransactions, but when I review games, they'll usually give me like a code for, hey, here's all the stuff or the loot or passing the grind.
It's a premium edition.
And I always play the game for like 10 to 20 hours without using that code. And then I pop it in to see like, what does the game feel like after you use that code? And I'm always like, lol.
That's wise.
I just wasted 10 to 20 hours because I could have just skipped like everything by using this.
Well, one of my favorite things that Naughty Dog does is they have an option in any of their like remasters that says turn off the pre-order bonuses. Like all the stuff that's going to skip some of the early, because I want to feel what you designed your game to grow up through, rather than getting 15 skill points for whatever we're looking at. And so I like that. I like when the developers put a button in that says, thank you for pre-ordering our game, but if you don't want us to short circuit this process, just turn it all off.
Yeah, and I think it works better in some games than others. Well, I mean, we just said that, but I mean like specific genres, right? So I talk about the Finals a lot. That's a free to play online shooter. I play the hell out of it. And I've spent a lot of money on that game, just for cosmetics, just because I like looking goofy and supporting the developer because I enjoy their game and I get a lot of time out of it. But to your point, there's no difference whatsoever in what I'm playing if I've spent that money or not. You get the complete package of the online multiplayer suite that I play for free. I do it.
And I think I've also said I look for places sometimes to go find a place where I can give a $5 if I feel like I've gotten essentially an excess amount of time out.
Of course. I won't say how much I've spent on the Finals. It's embarrassing. But anyway, Xbox 360. Thank you for all the memories. Great console, man. Love that thing. And this Halo 4 one behind me is still one of my favorite, like, designed of a custom console ever. It's like clear and has like all kinds of colors.
I have the R2D2 C3PO one. I think
that was a Connect bundle, wasn't it? I think.
Yep. Yeah. Because they have a C3PO styled Connect. It's gold.
Right.
And I still have that because Star Wars.
Yeah. I have
and to put a finer point on it, Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. I have the Gears 4 and 5 one down there, the Xbox Ones. But I want to go back and get the Gears 360. It's one of the few kind of special ones I don't have, so I need to pick that up.
My friend Raul collects the custom consoles for the 360 and Xbox Ones because they did a bunch, and he is devastated that they stopped doing that in the Xbox Series like era, because he had like, he must have like 40 Xbox 360s and like 20 Xbox
There's
Ones.
A lot.
Like he's got a lot of different ones.
Yeah, it's kind of silly, as always. Someone, funny enough, mentioned the faceplates on the original 360 before they redesigned it. And
I remember a big push. Part of the way they were appealing to the cool younger generation millennials like myself was like, you can customize it because this generation only cares about making things custom for them, and they're selfish, greedy. They want it their way. They're so customizable. And I remember those plates were so useless. I don't think I knew anybody who actually used one. Also, didn't they only go on the front? It was like just
they only went on the front.
The rest, the rest was just the same console. It was a bad idea.
But the funny thing is, right, we're seeing the Steam box or GameCube. They're like, you can put a custom plate on the front, and people are like, oh, that's cool. And it's like, 360 did that 20 years ago.
Didn't the PS5 do it as well with the side plates?
Yes.
Yeah, because Dan was talking about how he got replacement plates or whatever.
Yeah, I have them on my original PS5, which is actually over there.
Well, there's a whole copyright fight about them because there was a third party that was trying to allow the plates, and Sony was trying to sue them. It was a whole thing. That was a virtual legality.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, jump over, staying on Xbox. They had the partner direct this week, and I don't think we need to run down the entire list of games, but a couple of things I was going to call out. So I already talked about Total Chaos, which is one that released. We did one of the big announcements was Vampire Crawlers, which is the follow-up from Ponkel to Vampire Survivors. So not a direct sequel per se, but a follow-up. There is an interview on Xbox Wire with Ponkel about that game if you're obviously a big Vampire Survivors fan. But it looks like he's turning or kind of evolving his next game into is a card-based roguelike.
It's a card-based deck-building roguelike, which are basically all catnip phrases to me. Since they built Vampire Survivors as this kind of evolving, constant dopamine drip video game, this looks like the most dangerous announcement in video gaming to me. Like, this is the one that could easily take hundreds of hours if they design it right for me. But this is really exciting. I think it's an exciting direction to go. I've talked at length about the fact that indie companies are currently loving the roguelike and deck building eras, honestly, simultaneously. So I think this could be really, really cool.
Can I tell you guys something you probably don't know about the game Vampire Survivor? So
I mean, yes, we're on a talk.
You know how games get VR editions, and they'll Resident Evil 4 VR or whatever. They'll like come up with like a VR name for it. Vampire Survivor got ported to VR, and it's the name of the VR version is Vampire Survivor, but it's in VR. No, sorry, but it's in virtual reality is the official title of the VR version. I just thought you guys should know that.
I didn't know that, and that
but
is
it's in virtual reality.
Yeah, for that to be the official title.
Yeah. Good job, Vampire Survivor. That's what I have to say about that title choice.
Yeah, so Vampire Crawlers, no date on it, but like I said, if you want to know more, there is an Xbox Wire. There's actually a few Xbox Wire interviews and articles about the games from the Direct if you want to know more.
You say no date, but it's got a broad 2026 on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, sorry. When I say no date, I mean no specific.
Okay.
Reanimal, we got the latest trailer for that is the kind of, for lack of a better phrase, real Little Nightmares 3. That's from Tarsier Studios. We've talked about that one. The people who made Little Nightmares 1 and 2. That comes out February 13th. We get, which I almost texted Dan about, guys. We get a Eminem tries to kill Slim Shady crossover in Hitman, which I never thought I would see, but here we are.
Isn't Slim Shady a fictional character from his songs?
How deep do we want to go into this, Oak?
Okay, no, it's okay. I don't need more context.
Eminem is Marshall Mathers, and Slim Shady is his alter ego. And if you don't follow Eminem, his latest, he's had obviously, again, 25 plus years of Eminem, but his latest album was The Death of Slim Shady, where he tries to kill his alter ego because of just, he's basically playing of like, this is my old self who did all these bad things. It's been part of his music for a very long time.
Have you seen the horror movie Us, Hogue?
I have.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And you would be surprised how deep this goes. So that's why I asked how.
All right. No, I appreciate the 30,000-foot view. I was not trying to start something.
So when people see like the thumbnail for this is literally Hitman and Eminem, as you know him today, versus Slim Shady. And that plays into his whole album and everything else. So it's a really cool idea. I just didn't expect to see it in Hitman, but here we are. So.
Big fan of Eminem's work. Loved him in The Interview.
Damn it.
I don't think I've seen him in anything but 8 Mile.
Well, you guys haven't seen him in The Interview?
That was not a movie that appealed to me.
Oh my God. It's such a funny scene. You know what I'm talking about, right, Ains?
No, I don't.
Oh my
I was
God!
thinking,
You guys got to
said
see
the
that
interview,
scene.
and I was thinking of Happy Gilmore 2 for some reason. So I
No, the interview is the one with the
North Korean
druggies.
one. Yeah, the North Korean one, James Franco.
Oh,
Eminem is
I have
in
seen
that movie in the
I have seen that.
beginning with the. Do you remember what he does in that one where he just like comes
No.
out as gay in an interview and like they got Eminem to be like, I'm gay, obviously. I've been putting it on my songs. It's just such a funny scene. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's great. So there's a few other things here. There's an interesting game called Erosion. So it's a pixel art based game with supposedly a unique mechanic where basically it's like a Western in pixel art style, but anytime you die in the game, it's a roguelite. Anytime you die, the entire world ages 10 years. So like characters will age and eventually die. And I guess you'll see what happens with that.
That's an interesting take because in normal roguelikes, when I die, I feel like I've aged 10 years.
Well, they've done that before, right? There've been a couple games where your character ages on a death, or otherwise has some kind of legacy that involves age.
Yeah, I think this is like the you don't age, like the world around you ages, so things change. I don't know how well it's going to be implemented. We shall see, of course. Clover Pit launched. Dave the Diver with finally launched on Xbox, and they announced the In the Jungle DLC.
Had no idea Dave was not on Xbox yet. This was news to me.
Yeah, that doesn't get any Eastern games on it.
Yep. Echo Generation 2.
They're making a second Echo Generation? Nice.
Yeah. There was a trailer for Tides of Annihilation you may want to look at, Hogue. I saw a lot of people who, I know this wasn't the fast action, real-time action Final Fantasy wasn't your favorite thing in the world, but a lot of people I know kind of like modern Final Fantasy 16 and stuff were talking about this one. So
I feel burned a little bit, and that's from Lost Soul aside. I know it's a completely different company, but I just don't trust these kind of fake Final Fantasy games at this point. So they can wow me. I know it's got my L in it, so I know these things about this game, but I just don't trust it. So hopefully it's great, and then I will buy it, but this is not one I'm going to hype separately.
Okay. Yeah, you can take a look. And then one of the ones that, people were talking about, at least in my circle, was Zoo Punk, which is, you remember that game Fist, Forged in Shadow Torch? It was a side-scroller.
So it's a Metroidvania. It's a little gem.
Yes. Yeah. It's, pretty highly regarded game. It is the developers of that. They're making a game called Zoo Punk, still playing in the rabbit and animal vein, but actually it looks pretty cool. Pretty cool trailer. So there's more on that as well.
Yeah, that universe is interesting because it's like a futuristic city, but it's all populated by like the animals of the Chinese zodiac.
Oh,
right. Yes. Yeah, I didn't know it was aligned with the Chinese zodiac.
What's your Chinese zodiac?
I don't know.
How do you not know?
It's never come up before.
I'm a horse.
Did I actually get that right?
Yeah,
look at that. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Are these things supposed to tell me something about my personality?
Are we talking about the Chinese zodiac?
We are.
That is the most racist thing about you, is that you don't know your own Chinese zodiac. He's like
most racist.
Pretty messed up. It's pretty messed up, dude. And that's a competitive list too, for this to be the most racist. That's impressive.
Oh boy.
I'm a snake.
What are you, Hogue? Come on, you can look it up real quick.
I can, but I think that would give my birth year up, wouldn't it?
No, because it's cyclical. We would be off by 10 years or something.
12 years.
12 years, yeah. We don't know for sure.
I could look it up. I choose not to.
Wow. Okay. He lives in ignorance.
Hold on. I think I know. I can find it. Watch. I know. Oh, you don't want me to say it though, so never mind.
But you can you can message us in private chat.
Yeah, I know what you are now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know what you are now.
What are you? What are you, Travis?
You're the racist. I'm a snake.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the zodiac.
Right.
Oh, dog.
That was too easy.
Yeah.
You're a snake. Okay.
I'm a snake, and I'm a Slytherin, and I don't know. There's something about serpents that. Oh, nice. I would have guessed that for Hogue.
Fair enough. I think that's right anyway. Hogue, you can tell me if it isn't. But anyway, yeah, it looks cool. I did notice though, if anyone didn't, because they showed the trailer for this, that on the actual Partner Direct webpage or Xbox Wire, it says Zoopunk is scheduled for 2027. So I'm not sure why we saw that at this Partner Direct, but hey,
you got to fill the time.
I'm telling you. So did you guys watch this show or have you caught up on it?
I started seeing it when Vampire Crawlers hit my timeline. I didn't actually realize this was a show before that.
Oh, okay. All right. The only thing I was going to say is I think if you go back and watch this from a presentation standpoint, I think this format is fantastic. It's really well done. It's kind of like a mix between what we've seen out of the more modern State of Plays and Nintendo Directs. It basically goes game by game. It talks a little bit about where you can find more information. And then like every 6 games or so it kind of summarizes this. It's really well done. I hope Xbox sticks with this format. And honestly, it was a good little show. I liked a lot of what I saw here. It's not like big budget AAA releases other than 007, which
no Hades.
They didn't even, they talked about the car. Like, it's fine.
007. I mean, that's March, right? I mean, like that's coming up soon.
Yeah, I think they wanted that just to have the clout of it being in the show.
A big part of Bond, guys.
Well, and Xbox.
I'm aware of this, but
for having a car on stage, I mean, like that's part of their brand.
Actually, not
did
to
it
take
come
us
down
off track.
from the ceiling?
Xbox 2019, when I went to, it was either FanFest or part of the actual media show there. They had the McLaren Senna built out of Legos there that you could sit in. That was something.
Did you sit
interesting?
in it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel really worried that I was going to break their Lego car apart.
Yeah, I don't know how maybe they had additional support beams or whatever, but yeah, it was just sitting on stage and everyone could go sit in it and check it out.
I would be afraid that I would take off in the car and then it would start to fall apart brick by brick until I was left just holding the spinning wheel spinning around. Like in the
see, that sounds like an anxiety dream, Travis.
No,
you get into a Lego car.
Honestly,
it falls apart on you.
My goal in life is to get into as many cartoon situations as possible. So that would have been one for the bucket list. Holding nothing but a busted steering wheel while flying through the sky is like, that's how I want to go. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. My God. To close out on this show, the as Bomber, shout out to my boy Bomber in the chat. They highlighted the show here was everything was play anywhere. So again, Xbox really highlighting they're going towards buy it once in our ecosystem and you can play it console.
Also
PC,
the OS.
Cloud, anything. Yeah, and the actual big screen, what they're calling it, the big screen experience launched for insiders on PC as well.
That's actually kind of a big deal because that's kind of the problem, right? Like, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to play like a game xCloud on like a laptop, but it's like it can be a kind of a janky experience. So I feel like the full screen with a dedicated OS for it is kind of a missing piece in the play anywhere idea. So I thought that was a kind of a substantial announcement.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, it's what we've talked about where Xbox is going, right? With their next platform and GameCube competition and all that. So, but yeah, good show. Like I said, Xbox Wire does a really good job of summarizing kind of everything, and they have all the links to the interviews and everything else. So just check it out if you want to see all the announcements and anything you might have missed. So cool. Hogue made me promise we're not going to go through these nominations, so we're not, because I agree with him entirely. We don't want to go through all these nominations. But the Game Awards nominees are out. The voting is open through the beginning of December, I believe, first week. So a couple highlights. Expedition 33, as we've already joked, was going to be the darling this year. We knew that was going to happen. It is the most nominated game in Video Game Awards history, which I think is a travesty, but here we are. So it's nominated for 12 awards, followed by Death Stranding 2, another shocker, and some other game.
Come on now, man. It's your Big Monkey game got nominated.
Second is on there a lot.
My Big Monkey game.
Your Big Monkey game got some love.
Yeah.
Oh, Bonanza. Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly,
you seem really enthused about Bonanza.
I love Bonanza, but again, I don't think it's that upper echelon of, top tier Nintendo.
Kingdom
We
Come
talked about
Deliverance
it,
was
right?
on Game of the Year nominee, and also Kingdom Come Deliverance got a ton of nominations.
As
Yes,
it
did.
deserves.
As it actually deserves. So I'm
you
glad
were actually,
that that's up
I
there.
actually thought the nominees weren't that bad this year, to be honest with you. Like, I'm
I mean,
interested.
bad.
I know you guys are like more lukewarm than other people on Expedition 33. I'm really interested to have my own opinions on that because the other half of my friend group say that it's literally the best game they've ever played.
Yes,
Ben.
I know. One
They
of
need
the
to
things
play
I
more
respond
games.
to is the cult of Expedition 33 that comes into my timeline no matter what I talk about and tells me how it transformed their life and how they've found Expedition 33 as their Lord and Savior.
Well, Ains, one of the guys who told me that is a guy who makes video games for a living, Ben Kierton. He said it was probably one of the best games he's ever played, and I'm like, all right, well, he's a dude who knows games if nothing else, so I'm interested to have my own opinions on it.
He's also a peculiar dude.
He made me
who I like quite a bit, but
he made me
He is a
fight
peculiar
cubes.
dude. He's a little on spectrum.
No, great guy. Many people I know, all jokes aside for a second, as we've talked about, I actually love Expedition 33. It's a great game. It really is.
Expedition 33 is well deserving of its spot. Yes.
Yeah. So, but to Hoag's point, there is a cult around this game that acts like it's like the most revolutionary game ever made for some reason, and it's just not. I don't know. It's very weird. But if people love it to death, people love it to death. You love whatever you want.
Absolutely. Go nuts.
Yeah, like
I expect it to win.
Cast. There are 3 people on that cast who got nominated for best performance, I think it was.
Which is garbage. Yes, that is wrong.
It's crazy.
That part is really crazy.
Especially when they said the one guy did 4 hours of work.
The entire cast of Death Stranding 2 got left off so that there could be 3 separate characters from Expedition 33. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's a little wild.
It's a bit much. And that's the only thing I was kind of calling out, right? Jokes, like I said, jokes aside about it, it deserves its flowers. It absolutely does in many ways. So let's recognize that. But let's also recognize it didn't fundamentally change gaming. And there is a darling period happening with it here where it's being kind of cast out among everything,
Wrong.
Which is a bit nuts.
So, I mean, the tweet that I made this week that got the most attention was that I said after the nominations came out that there is one game in 2025 that I do think is going to stand the test of time and people are going to remember it coming out of this year, and it's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
It's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, 100%.
And I didn't say one thing about Expedition 33. I didn't say one thing about Expedition 33, but the cult found me, as it always does.
You guys are on crack cocaine if you think that people are going to be talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 years from now. Maybe some people, but the game does not have.
I would happily bet anything you want on that.
Yeah, no, it's going to have the Witcher 3 slot of
the problem is it's going to be impossible to reference, but I don't think I'm not saying this isn't a detriment of the game. I'm just saying it does not have broad enough appeal, I think, to be the game that people are going to be talking about because
it's going to be the starting point.
It is
for a lot of developers building up their story. It is going to be referenced like Witcher 3 is. Expedition 33 is not. And also, more importantly, the reason that I didn't say that about Expedition 33 is that I think E33 has a lot of freshman flaws. It has a lot of stuff that I fully expect this team that kicks ass to fix in the next one.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, no, I think everything you just said. I agree with all that. I do agree with you as well, Travis. KCD2 is a niche, partially because of its setting and the kind of game it is, right?
And the type of game it is. I don't think it's going to be a cultural reference point, like by any stretch down the road.
I think it will because we're already kind of seeing that. I think the reason it's up for Game of the Year is because as the year has gone on, I would argue that if this game released in September, it wouldn't be on this list. The reason it's on the list is because more and more people are discovering this game and realizing how utterly brilliant it is from a design perspective.
It's a crazy game.
And I'm seeing that week. I mean, again, it's always anecdotal. You can't measure this, right? But I'm seeing it week over week, more people discovering this game and being like, holy shit. And it's like, yes, like the game is that good. It has design elements that many other games don't accomplish. And I think people are recognizing that, and more people will over time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think its stretch will be as big as you think. I would like it to be.
It's not gonna be as big as Witcher 3. No,
yeah,
but
I don't think
gonna
it's
have
going to be
some
the
type
game.
of launch.
I don't think it's going to get enough exposure, and that's a shame. But I just don't think it's going to get enough exposure to be like the game people are talking about.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere between those two.
I think we're using differences of people we'll be talking about, but we are in a buzz period for Expedition 33. I think it will end. I also think that Sandfall is going to make a better sequel.
I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement with Expedition.
Sandfall is the people that made it.
Sandfall Interactive. Yeah, they're the studio.
I don't know the name of the studio. It is their first game, though. I mean,
it's fantastic for
pretty good.
Fantastic
debut game.
Well, it's their first studio game, right? I mean, obviously they built lots of games previously, but
the human beings, yes,
human
Sandfall,
yeah,
debut. The debut genre or the debut category is one that struck me as it's going to be a tough vote. There's a lot of good debut games.
A great year for gaming. I mean, unbelievable.
It is a great year. It's a good nomination list.
One thing I was going to ask you guys is it's kind of funny because Expedition 33 seems poised to be the darling and run away with it, as we've said.
Yeah.
But if you look critically and you look at kind of delivery, Hades 2 is up for Game of the Year. It's the highest rated Game of the Year that's listed critically.
I'll probably
and Hades was a darling, obviously. Do you feel like Hades 2 is actually getting the recognition it deserves? I mean, it's on the Game of the Year list, but
Hades
you know what
2
I mean.
deserves to be there, absolutely. But it was the one that I didn't have on my guesses. That in that spot I had Split Fiction, which I'm surprised to not see there.
I don't think it'll win because of their release model. When you do early access, I think you cut your chances of being put into any sort of serious consideration for awards like in half, because there's half of the group that thinks that you don't count, for this year, or it's I don't know if I think that's going to be a mark on it. We'll see. I think it's probably the best game on that list. TBH.
I haven't played it enough to say that, but I could see
it's really
that.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I also haven't finished Expedition 33. That, by the way, I'm voting.
I'm very excited for you to finish it because I want you to see what Hogue and I are talking about.
I'm voting on December 2nd, and by then I will have played enough of these games to vote on every category. I'm close. I just have a couple more games I have to catch up. Yeah, I know.
I mean, Expedition 33 isn't that long.
These are 10 days where the world shuts down. These are
true.
These are Travis days where I'm going to have nothing going on and I'm just going to be catching up in games. Expedition 33 will be a footnote in all the games that I play in the next 10 days. So.
Okay. To Hogue's point, it's not, if you push through it, you can push through it. It's not, it's not like a 150 hour, JRPG.
It's like 30 hours, right? Yeah,
not even.
That's one day for me.
I mean, depends how much side content you want to do. There's a decent amount of side content that I think is worth doing, but yeah, it's up to you. But I at least see the story arc, because I think that's where, from the conversations I talk about Expedition 33 with people way too much, and I have to stress at the start, I love the game. Like you say, to Hogue's point, you say anything even remotely negative, and people lose their mind for some reason about this.
Well, I get accused of not liking it, that I am for some reason finding it valuable to front that I actually like this game. And I don't know why, but everybody hears everything below sainthood as secretly hating.
Yes, that's true.
It's a very good game.
Yeah, it's a great game. I think I even liked it more than Hogue, but it is not the second coming. And it does have flaws. And I do agree with Hogue that their second game, assuming they build on this foundation and don't do something else entirely.
No, it's going to be clear obscure.
On this foundation.
Every game has flaws.
It'll be better.
2 is buggy.
I have not had a single bug in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yeah, KCD1 was buggy.
I think you have rose-colored glasses there, Hogue. I think we've talked about bugs that we've all had in that game.
I have a lot of time in that game. I don't think I've had any major bugs.
I don't think I've had any bugs.
There's little weird stuff, but
didn't we talk about bugs in that game like the week after it came out, or 2 weeks? I think you guys are just forgetting some of the jankiness.
It's possible. I'm old. I'm seasoned, but I have no recollection of bugs in that game. Versus when you said
who's pleading the fifth.
Versus when you said Dreamlight Valley had bugs.
Oh, I've just referenced a joke on our first recording that got deleted. Sorry, guys.
No. Oh, that's right. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so the audience doesn't know what we're talking about. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
Oh, all I was saying was that by comparison, when you said Dreamlight Valley was buggy, I thought, yes, one of the problems I have with that game, which I really like as a design, is that I constantly feel like it's on the verge of breaking apart.
That literally was in my review. Is like as you're playing it, you're going like, I hope I better do this in the right order because this game's prone to breaking. And yeah, it's literally how I ended up breaking the game. But yeah,
the one thing there's funny enough, like game of the year, like those major ones people always look at. I don't even care that much. I'm happy that KCD2 is up there with the nomination because at the very least that means more people will give it a look. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I actually get weirded out more about some of the other ones, like South of Midnight wasn't up for like soundtrack, and it's like
That's crazy.
It's like come on, man! Like that game is like give me a break. Like if it's up for anything, it should be up for that. And there's just other things like that I think that jump out that are weird to me.
Yeah, I mean that's an obvious one. South of Midnight needed to be there on soundtrack. There's no question. I think the RPG category is completely wrong.
It's messy.
Yeah, it's just not done right. And it's been a great year for RPGs.
Yeah. There's stuff like that weirds me out more than the major ones, honestly. As Hogue called out, having 3 from the same game for voice actor is silly. When there's so many amazing performances that have happened this year. So,
yeah, and it's like Ben Starr's like 3rd best performance. It's like, okay, we get it. Ben Starr, you're awesome, buddy. But now that conversation doesn't actually matter because Troy Baker's winning for Indy.
He should win
probably
for Indy,
my vote
for sure.
Honestly, I was really surprised to see Indy on there given it came out in December last year because they usually do a great job of just pretending all December games
ignoring those games entirely. Yeah.
But they didn't. They didn't for Indy. I give them credit for that. They counted it. Yeah.
It's true. Well, obviously we'll talk more about the Game Awards when they actually happen and we'll kind of have some fun with that. But what do you guys for Game of the Year? You think Expedition takes it?
Oh, I don't think there's any question that Expedition 33 is going to win. It's not my vote.
Agree. Yeah, I agree. Very excited for you to play it, Travis, to see what you think by the end, because it's kind of weird when I know you can separate yourself from this, but it is always weird after the discourse on a game has happened for so long and then you go and play it. You know what I mean?
I haven't heard any discourse. I've been out of the Expedition 33 loop. I seriously have not.
Except for the last 15 minutes where we said it's like everyone's favorite game.
I don't listen to you guys talk. I mean, I don't know. Look, I know your guys' opinions on it, but your guys' opinions are often not the, generally accepted ones. So like, I'm not taking that to mean anything. It's like, I get.
Are you bundling me with Hogue right now? You watch your
without
tongue,
question.
Sir.
You guys absolutely
would.
No, in Costco, you guys are for sure a duo pack. Like you guys come together.
You get discounts. You bundle Ains and Hogue.
Yeah, you bundle Ains and Hogue. They go to. It's like when you buy the big pack that has mayo and mustard. Like you guys are different flavors, but you complement each other.
Sounds like a win to me, Hogue. Honestly.
Yeah, no, I'm taking it. Look. Right. I've been, if not public enemy number 1, a high-ranked public enemy of the Expedition 33 fandom. Yeah, like all year. And as a guy that likes that game, it's just insane. And I have to keep checking myself to not kind of reflexively dislike it or hate it more based on just the quality of the fans.
By the way, commenters, if you were wondering, Hogue's definitely mayo in that. Like without question, he's mayo. Okay. That would mean egg. That would mean
I think
is
I think that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I be spicy brown at least?
No, absolutely not. Look at you. There's nothing spicy or brown about you. I'm sorry. There's just not.
Oh man. All right. Let's close out real quick with just a comment on this. I don't know if you guys want to, but Ubisoft, we talked briefly last week. We just said they had halted their trading and everyone was kind of talking about what was being finalized. So the finalization of the deal with Tencent has gone through. Vantage Studios, as they're known, which is now the Breakoff Studios that are responsible for Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six, kind of finalized its investment from Tencent, for 1.16 billion euros, which is, according to Game Business, a 26.3% stake in the company. I don't have anything else to add. Go for it, guys.
Oh, I mean, I think the only thing I have to add on the Ubisoft situation is my kind of traditional games media needs to be slower on discussing business issues. Then when Ubisoft had to stop their public reporting just before it happened, lots of sites went crazy with, does this mean they're being acquired by Saudi Arabia? Does this mean Tencent has bought them? Other horrible things, is Ubisoft going bankrupt? All these headlines that were everywhere. And as it turned out, what was the most likely reason for this, which is they've had a lot of complicated financial transactions in the last 2 years, and their accounting team does not agree with how those things should be reflected in their final statements. And so they are taking a pause before having these announcements, is the one that appears to have been the truth. So that's all I would add there is like every time you see headlines that seem a little bit too dramatic or a little bit too tabloidy, and I don't really limit this only to games industry, but that's where this particular news item hits, just take a pause, think about what other reasons there might be for something, because they want your clicks. This goes around every bit of media, and I think people would be well treated to just slow down themselves in what they're reading and passing on social media or otherwise.
Yep. And the funny thing is about the finalization here is this really isn't anything we didn't already know. We kind of knew this was happening. We've already talked about kind of the structure here of what Ubisoft was doing and the Tencent investments. So, yes, I would agree with you entirely. So, well, boys, I think that's going to wrap us up after a messed up start today. So for everyone here in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for switching over to the other links. I will just ask you, please, once again, if you could share this out, make sure you're hitting that like button because, it's going to be all messed up on the back end after that start. So sorry about that again. But otherwise, it is Thanksgiving week in here in the U.S. in particular. So we will, as Travis said, a lot of stuff kind of comes to a halt this week. A lot of people get some good gaming in and catch up and everything else, which I plan to do as well. I will let everyone know right now that we are taking next Sunday off. So we're taking a little break for families for the Thanksgiving holiday and to just veg out a bit. So we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Restore
time.
our vigors.
Our vigor, yeah.
First we do have to restore our vigors.
We do.
So enjoy. Hope everyone enjoys the time with family and holiday, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, of course. In the meantime, on the SG side, just to call out real quick, one of our newest contributors, Stacy, who is an excellent video editor. And he has created a few pieces of content now, which are, in my opinion, really, really well done. He's got that kind of really soothing voice that works well on video that I cannot replicate. And he does some great video editing and kind of a very good writer as well. He did a video and article this week talking about how your backlog is not a burden. And he reflects on Morrowind back when it launched, as well as a personal story about Outer Wilds. I would highly suggest checking that out. It's really, really well done. So you can find that on our channel or on the site. And then, as I said, we have Demon School and the Black Ops 7 reviews up and a few other things coming this week as well. Hogue, I'll pass to you.
I just want to make clear that Demon School is not a game about learning to be a demon. Because this is something I had to clarify when I was explaining to my wife that my daughters were playing Demon School with me. And so you are fighting demons. You are not learning to become a demon. I think that's critical to understanding what you can and can't play with your kids.
That was the line for your wife. She was like, I don't want them learning how to become a demon in school in a video game.
Meanwhile, I'm no longer interested.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, certainly some indie could take the concept of Demon School and run with it as you might think with that name. But I did want to clarify that. Otherwise, I have no wares to sell. I've been running hard in the practice of law, not making additional content for y'all. I feel bad about that. But there will be some new stuff soon-ish as we head into December and the new year.
Fantastic. Travis, show us your wares, my friend. What you got?
My wares. Disney Dreamlight Valley, Escape from Tarkov. Before that, I reviewed Arc Raiders. I also did a preview this week of Routine. My interview.
I didn't know that was up. I need to check that out.
That's right. My preview of Routine is up, and my interview with the developers is up. And I believe that concludes my content for the month on Routine's IGN First. My next IGN First is happening next year, by the way. Already working.
They
on
just
content
keep giving
for
them
it.
to you.
Can't talk about it at all, but it is a very high profile AAA game.
All right, enough about Grand Theft Auto 6, Travis.
That this chat specifically, this group of folks are going to be very excited to hear about.
All right.
Okay.
Something to look forward to. Good pitch.
Yeah, I expect you to break that NDA as soon as we're off end stream here. So,
you know me, NDA breaking some bitch.
All right, everyone. I hope if you're celebrating Thanksgiving here in the U.S. this week, have a great time with your family, no matter what you're doing. Everyone else, obviously, enjoy the week and the couple weeks since we'll be back next. Enjoy your gaming. Thank you for the support as always. As always, we genuinely appreciate it. And until then, we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
Go Blue.